Cheryl Hall, ABC News.
The Prime Minister and opposition leader have come together on the election campaign to acknowledge the problem of racism in Australian society. But the rare moment of bipartisanship wasn't shared by one of the government's most senior figures, who described the assessment as very negative. Andrew Green reports.
The nation's march towards reconciliation is a long one, but it's a cause political leaders are signed up to.
A journey that we have embarked on in years past and will no doubt complete in years to come.
This was, is and always will be Aboriginal land.
Even if they differ on measures of progress.
The shameful fact of the matter is that there is still systemic racism prevalent in pockets of Australian life.
He cites the treatment of high-profile Indigenous sports stars as evidence, but so far won't be drawn on possible remedies for members of the stolen generations.
My speech was about identifying the problems. We are not contemplating a financial scheme.
His assessment is backed by the Prime Minister.
Well, we are not if you talk about Australia as a whole, are we free entirely from racism? Clearly not. But I have to say we are the most successful multicultural society in the world.
But the government's campaign spokesman isn't rushing to join the bipartisanship.
That is a very negative view of Australia. Yes, of course. I mean, there are issues from time to time that need to be addressed, but to make a blanket negative statement like that is very disappointing.
Tonight, Australia's political leaders are putting aside their differences for the Indigenous round of football. So far, their election sparring hasn't resembled the ferocity of an AFL match, but this election is getting increasingly testy. Tomorrow, Malcolm Turnbull and Bill Shorten will again come face to face for a debate. Before that, the unhelpful distractions are continuing for both sides. The Labor leader faced another day of uncomfortable questions on when he decided to scrap Labor's school kids bonus. And Victorian Liberal Chris German attempted to gatecrash the opposition leader's medical centre visit.
You've nothing more to say to us, Chris?
No, I don't.
Only to promptly leave when pressed on his party's own health policies. Andrew Green, ABC News, Melbourne.